Controversial plan to drug test welfare recipients is being revived by the federal government, with legislation to be introduced into Parliament next week.
Let's cross live to Eliza Edwards. Eliza, what are the chances of the bill getting through this time around?
Good morning, Kieran and Annalise. Well, as we know, this idea to drug test people on New Start and youth allowance benefits was first floated in 2017, but the legislation stalled in the Senate because of concerns about its fairness. Labor and the Greens argued the measure is too punitive and would demonise people on welfare. And health groups like the AMA were also extremely critical at the time, arguing that drug addiction should be treated as a health issue. The Social Services Minister has today hit back at the AMA criticism, saying that this revived legislation is more about helping people to rehabilitate than punishing them. And she says that that this new legislation will not take payments away from anyone who tests positive to drugs.
Not taking money away from them. No person who's currently coming onto welfare will receive any less than they would have pre this trial being undertaken. What we're saying is that instead of giving them access to all of their money in cash which only in many instances is going straight to drug dealers, we're saying let's quarantine some of it and not make it available as cash so that these people can address their addiction.
Now, the government is urging Labor to change its mind on this, and Labor has indicated it's open to reviewing the legislation when it comes before Parliament next week. Here's what Deputy Leader Richard Marles had to say.
Well, and we're for anything which gets people off drugs. We'll have a good look at the legislation when it's given to us. But we want to know that this actually works, and we're mindful of the advice of experts around this. And we've got to be really careful that whatever measures we're putting in place don't end up demonising the most vulnerable.
So not a hard no because you rejected it in the past?
We'll have a look at the legislation when it's given to us.
If this legislation passes with either the support of Labor or the crossbench, these drug trials will be carried out in 3 locations in New South Wales, Queensland and WA. Kieran, Annalise?